Question number 17. In the diagram, in the diagram, SP is equals to 5500 meters. This is SP over here. The angle of depression of Q from S is 70 degree. This is Q and this is S. Okay. And the angle of depression of T from S is 53. Here we have T and then S is again is there at the top. Part A, calculate the length of PQ. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the angle of depression of Q and T from S. As we can see that they have mentioned angle of depression from S. So what we are going to do, first of all, we are going to draw a horizontal line on S like this. Okay, this is the horizontal line that I have drawn from S. Now, the first thing that they mention, angle of depression of Q from S. So what we are going to do for the angle of depression of Q from S, we'll start from this horizontal line. Okay, from this horizontal line, we'll start measuring the angle from this horizontal line to a line which is going towards Q. Okay, this is the line going towards Q. This is the angle of depression. Okay, so how much is this angle? This angle is 70 degree. And then in the next part, angle of depression of T from Q, T from S. So where is T? Here we have T over here, and angle of depression of T from S. So again, from S means we'll start from the horizontal line and we'll mention the angle up to another line that is going towards T. So this angle over here is 53. First thing. Okay. Let's be very clear about the angle of depression. What is angle of depression? How we measure it? From which line do we start measuring it? These things should be very clear, first of all. Okay, now if I look at the angle of depression of Q from S, what I can observe that the angle is between these two lines. And then it is going, there is a line like this. Okay. If you remember alternate integral angle property, if this angle over here is 70, then this angle over here is also 70, right? And then if we look at the angle of depression of T from S, so I can say that this is where it is coming from and going in this direction. So if this angle is 53, then this is also 53. Okay, so angle of depression will help you find out the angles inside the right angle triangle. Okay. I can mention these things, but I'll erase rest of the stuff. Okay, so now I have two angles inside the right angle triangle and I have to find out the length of PQ. In order to find out the length of PQ, we are going to consider the right angle triangle SPQ. So I am considering triangle SPQ. I'm considering this triangle SPQ. And in SPQ, I have to find out the length of PQ. I know this side and I know this angle over here. So in this triangle, I have an angle given, I have opposite given, and I have to find out the value of the adjacent. So we are going to use trigonometric ratios to find out the value of PQ and the trigonometric ratio, which I can use. I have the opposite, I have the adjacent. I am going to use tangent theta, which is going to be tangent theta angle is 70 is equals to opposite upon adjacent. Opposite is 5500 meters divided by adjacent. Adjacent is PQ. In order to find out the value of PQ, as my variable is in the denominator, I'll switch the places. This will be PQ is equal to 5500 divided by tangent 70. So PQ is equals to 5500. This is 5500 Tangent 70 is equal to 2.74. 2.74. I'll divide 5500 with 2.74. It is going to be 2001.8. So the length of PQ is going to be 2001.8 meter. This is part A. Then in the next part, they're asking us to find out the length of QT. Okay, if you look at QT, you will realize that QT is the side of an obtuse triangle. QT is not the side of a right angle triangle. And the problem here is this, right now we are only able to calculate the length of the sides of a right angle triangle. So we cannot find out the length of QT using the trigonometric ratios. What we'll have to do in order to calculate the length of QT, I can construct an equation, and that equation would be QT is equals to PT minus PQ. So I can find out the length of QT if I know PT and if I know PQ. PQ though I have just found out. So I'll mention it over here in the diagram, which is 2001.8 meter. I know the length of PQ, but I do not know the length of PT, and there is no way of finding out the length of QT directly. So what I need to do, I can say that I know PQ, but I do not know this. So first of all, let's find PT. If I look at PT, PT is the adjacent or the base of that larger right angle triangle. So I will try to find out PT. In order to find out PT, I have this angle which is 53. I have the opposite. I'll again use the same trigonometric ratio tangent, but this time the angle will be 53. So tangent 53 is equals to opposite upon adjacent, and adjacent right now is PT. I'm sorry, this is PT. So we'll switch the places of the variable, and tangent 53. This is going to be PT is equals to 5500 divided by tangent 53. Let's write the value of tangent 53 directly, which is 1.32, and then divide 5500 with 1.32. It is going to be 4144.5. Length of PT is equals to 4144.5 meter. Now, I'll go back to this formula which I constructed in the beginning in order to find out the length of QT. And what I'll do, I'll simply write QT is equals to PT, which is 4144.5 now, minus PQ, which I found out in the first part, that is 2001.8. And the difference is going to be the final answer, which is 2142.74. 2142.7 meter. Okay, so this is question number 17.